Hurry up, I'm a busy engine, puffed Henry. Goods arrive night and day at the docks. Sometimes Henry and the other engines work so hard that their axles ache.
Really? Even after all this time? With all the developments and evolutions Sodor has gone through, the engines are still busy busting their buffers? Well, if that's the case, that must mean a new engine is joining Top Hat's library. I wonder who it could be now.
This is Murdoch. He's going to be pulling freight on the main line. Ahoy, matey! Shouted Salty. Welcome, Murdoch, called Harvey. You're the biggest engine I've ever seen, cried Thomas. You're a chatty lot, Murdoch said quietly.
Ah, so that's who the orange tender engine was a couple stories ago. Well now, Gordon has some competition here. Maybe. From that scene alone, he doesn't seem to be very much into himself. That comment he made, though, sounded a little annoyed. That's because Murdoch had his mind set on one thing and one thing only.
Murdoch was looking forward to a good night's rest, but Salty and Harvey were full of questions. What's the longest train you've ever pulled? Have you ever worked Marseille? Have you ever crashed? Please, I want some peace and quiet.
Jeez, Murdoch. I get that you're probably tired, but Harvey and Salty are pretty harmless. They don't even play tricks on other engines, for cripe's sake. Thankfully, both Harvey and Salty didn't take too much insult to Murdoch, even though he called them chatterboxes. However, the next day Murdoch was able to get a different view instead of being at the harbor.
This time he chuffed into the beautiful countryside. It was splendid. At last, he had some peace and quiet.
My gosh, Murdoch is ginormous. You would think an engine as big as him could fly like the wind, faster than Gordon, the City of Truro, or the Flying Scotsman. It doesn't seem like it, though. If anything, he may not be assigned the title of fastest engine, but he could probably haul the longest trains. Unfortunately, his peace and quiet would be disturbed again when sheep had raided the line.
The driver and the fireman tried to chase the sheep back. First this way, and then that way. They tried everything, but nothing worked. We'll never move these sheep by ourselves.
That figures. There's a reason why you guys work on a railway and not the farm. And because of this delay, Top Hat was phoned to get help. Meanwhile, Murdoch's quiet time was filled with the sounds of sheep making noise. I'm sure he loved that.
Please stop, groaned Murdoch. I'd rather be back with the chatterbox engines. Just then, Toby chuffed into view. Toby, exclaimed Murdoch. We're certainly glad to see you.
Oh yeah, only now does Murdoch appreciate Salty and Harvey's chats. I guess Murdoch will never be satisfied no matter where he is. That is until he made it home to see those two knuckle buffers waiting for him at Knapford Sheds. Way to go, buddy boy.
I'm sorry that I was cross. I'm very pleased to share a shed with you. And we're very pleased to have your company, said Harvey. Aye, we are, added Salty. It reminds me of a story. Murdoch smiled. The sound of ba-ba would have kept him awake, but a Salty story would send him happily to sleep.
Not sure if that's a good thing, but I guess if Salty doesn't care, then it's fine. This story was alright. Murdoch as the new engine to Sodor is definitely a different kind of tender engine. His traits aren't bad, but they aren't normal either. For example, it's nice that for Murdoch's sake, since he's so large, he doesn't have an inflated pride complex like Gordon per se. He didn't say one thing high and mighty about himself, which is great. He really is the biggest engine to be shown thus far, but he doesn't boast about it. However, the fact that he wants peace and quiet all the time is a little weird, being that he's a friggin' engine, and especially for him being such a large size, I'm sure he makes his own set of noises. And having the expectation of things being quiet all the time is a little unreasonable. It's good, though, to see Murdoch apologize and befriend Harvey and Salty. They both are great supporting characters who have certainly not ever been shown to intentionally misbehave. Music was also a little iffy here. There seemed to be a theme for Murdoch, but it didn't sound clearly pronounced. Come on, Welk and Hartshorn, I know you can do this. Visuals were aesthetically pleasing. Believe it or not, we saw Tidmouth Harbor once more at the beginning, albeit a stock footage clip. We'll just pretend it's a new clip. That location hasn't been set in a while. There's also shots of Knapford Sheds, Henry's Tunnel, and Sudbury Castle. All places that feel very much like home because of their references to early seasons. Next episode is Fergus Breaks the Rules. Thanks for watching.